This meeting is called to order at 6:36. All right, we'll go into roll call. Ali. Allen.
Here.
Appia. Appia. Burr.
Here.
Carr.
Here.
Caruso.
Here.
Castellana. Ciccone. Curtis.
Here.
Durer.
Here.
Gibbs. Goebel. Jane. Kakanda. Kowalski.
Here.
Kundu.
Here.
Lepore.
Here.
Langer.
Here.
Lanza.
Here.
Lavoy.
Here.
Michael. Murray.
Here.
Norris. Von Olson.
Here.
Olje.
Here.
Surwitz.
Here.
Salar. Bird.
Here.
Valverde.
Here.
Johnny. Dinkloo. Lechicon. Gopal. Hinton.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Conrad.
Here.
Crooks.
Here. Hello.
Mirza.
Hello.
Sidani.
Here.
Stern. Gothru. Hack. Hernandez. Zabrowski. Okay, we'll move into the next item of business. So we will move into the funding board nominees. If the nominees will please rise and come to the front of the room. Funding board nominees. Funding board chair Johnson has the floor.
All right, everyone. We're missing one person. I don't know where she is. It's Risha. So, but we don't want her. Oh, did she? Oh, she's on her way. Okay. Feature funding board committee, 16 and 17. So we have Jay, Francesca, Neil. Oh, Swanton. Neil, Francesca, Jay, and Richard, and then Risha. I feel that each one of these guys, I threw them a funding packet and asked them to evaluate it without maybe even ever seeing the system or the funding package before, and each one of them, these guys nailed it on the head. They're extremely qualified and ready to do these packets, especially with the inflow that we are getting this year. I mean, you guys approved 120 of them last Senate, so you guys can understand we're getting a lot of them, and I feel this committee will be completely able to take on everyone and get it moving in a timely manner and have funding running in a timely manner this semester, as well as an accurate and precise manner too. So, and I love each and every one of the lawyers.
Yes. Is Senator Jane on the agenda? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, funding board chair Johnson. Do the nominees accept the nomination? Yes. Does somebody accept on behalf of Senator Jane?
Yes.
Are there any questions for the nominees? All right. Seeing none, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor of approving the 2016-2017 funding board nominees as presented on the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions? And clearly passes.
Thinking about her. Hello. You got my email? Yes. I just got it. Now you have the full committee list.
Thank you, everyone. You may take your seats. Senator Collins.
I think you got it.
I know.
All right, we will move into the next item on the agenda, which is a bill amending an act concerning student group funding. We will move into the next item of business, which is a bill amending an act concerning student group funding. Before there is a motion or a second, I will say that because this piece of legislation amends something that the Senate has previously passed, this will require a 2/3 vote threshold. Do we have a motion? Langer and second to LaVoy. Okay. Chairperson Johnson, I'll give you the floor.
All right, so these are just a couple ones that we have to, based on new developments, we have to increase funding for. So American Red Cross Society is one that I will highlight. The funding, they asked for 5 days of catering funding, and we got confirmation for 1, but the day after we voted on this, we got confirmation for all 5. So we now need to approve the extra amount. So they approved for 1 day of catering. We need to approve 4 days, 4 more days. The other ones are increases in registration fees. They have more than the anticipated amount going, and it's more than $100, so it requires a vote. But otherwise, it's increases just in developments within the groups, and I feel that each one of these groups needs the increase in funding.
Thank you, Chairperson Johnson. Is there any discussion on this legislation? Seeing none, we will move into a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Abstentions? The ayes have it, the motion carries. We will move into the next item on the agenda, which is a bill concerning student group funding. I think I put a Roman numeral here because we've had several, just to clarify. Chairperson Johnson, you have the floor.
All right, so these ones are ones that we postponed last Senate because they were in frozen status, and now that they're active, we need to get these passed for them so that we get them their funding as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Chairperson Johnson. Is there any further discussion on this legislation? Senator McCord?
Are there any other organizations from last Senate that are still frozen that we're going to have to take care of this for another week, or is this everything?
Chairperson.
Now that this is the last, there is one more organization that's still frozen that we postponed last Senate.
Okay.
So that one will probably still need to be taken care of in the Senate. I think, I don't know if anybody can vote on it since Senate postponed it, right?
You postpone them?
Well, we postponed what's on last time, right?
Do we strike them or do we vote?
No, from last time, we postponed.
Right, we struck them from the legislation, correct?
Mhm.
So Senate didn't consider that, so planning board can vote.
Okay, so it can go to my funding board as soon as they're active status.
Is Senator Carr?
I have a question about them now. So, will this increase as, like, let's say group submitted a budget, like 2 weeks ago or like a week ago, will these total amounts change based to account for that, or?
Chairperson Johnson?
This isn't regarding,
Did you say budget?
budget, yeah, it's not concerning their
Yeah.
budget. This, Rich might be better able to answer this.
Yeah, so your budget isn't what Senate or funding board passes, your budget is just for you. When you actually go in and put in the funding request in the funding system, that's what this reflects. And that's what we set under the committee vote on.
Are there any, Senator Rhodes?
What are the question marks for at the end?
Oh, that just looks like we have not added the total. Thank you for pointing that out, Senator Rhodes. That was
I just want to pass a questionable bill.
Yeah.
Use your vocabulary.
While, if there's no objection, then we will objection to that? Good. While that is happening, is there any other further discussion? Senator Kowalski.
Just a quick point of information, I noticed that the second organization got less than the funding now. I mean, I'm not saying the funding goal was wrong or anything, I'm just curious why that was.
Johnson?
So travel requests, hotels, airfare, car rentals are always funded at 75%.
Okay.
So it's the 75%.
Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Is there any discussion? Are there any announcements? All right, one thing really quick, guys. After Senate concludes, we are going to move into caucus. We're just going to be working on some, Senate goals for the year thing. So, exec is actually going to step out, do whatever they have to do in their lives, so that Senate can discuss this amongst ourselves. All right. All right. If there is no objection, then we will adjourn the formal Senate session. All right. Ready for order. Senator, go.
This is a hostile environment, like when we discuss this before,
What? Yes. Why do you think you have a discussion? Like all of these actually. I'm back.
Let's go.
Okay, start. Go.
Okay.
Okay, let's stay. Going so high.
Okay, so everybody. All right, cool. So for our new senators, this is going to be your first caucus. Just a little background information. Caucus is usually a more informal setting. We don't necessarily run off the Robert's rules. There's no requirement to be dressed casually. And it's usually a place that you can discuss ideas and that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do for the caucus today is we're actually going to do some sort of idea brainstorming, generation thing for the coming year. What do you guys all want to work on? So we're going to split off into groups of 4 groups of 5 eventually, because I'm told that there are 20 of you. But before we do that, can everybody grab a piece of paper and write down 10 things that they want to work on? Just 10 ideas.
That's good.
3. It doesn't have to be paper if you're environmentally conscious. And we'll take about 5 minutes for this.
Hey, I want these. Think of 5 things. Things you want to do as a senator.
Oh, yeah, for the student body.
Yeah.
I mean, your personal goals, yeah, we'd like to hear
We'd love
that
to
too.
hear those too, but like maybe.
I'll email those to you, staff.
Thanks.
I will second, so what is second?
Wait, hold on. Everybody. Wait, okay. I guess I didn't make this very clear. So before we split off into the groups, actually, if you can all just write down your 10 ideas individually. Does that make sense? And then we're going to perform into groups.
George, I think 10 is ambitious. Can we go to 5?
I think 5 is still ambitious.
Okay, let's senator later. If you could, I don't know, achieve more or something.
What was that?
Thanks so much.
Okay, so we do. I'm just trying to get it down to.
If someone was, they often automatically calls for you. So we had something to say. Because if someone, yeah, because someone would like to resign, the call that opens up the table before we like, okay, fine. I didn't have to. So even if someone resigns, they can't, there's no, like, it's they should still, like, people should still have that choice, I guess. Because I know
It's not worth it.
All right, everybody, the 5 minutes is over, so hopefully you have all individually come up with at least 5 goals or topics that you want to work on throughout the year. So,
Guys, is anybody listening to George right now? Because it would be really great if you did.
I was listening.
Thanks, Liza.
all right, so now what I'm going to do right now is count, or have you all count off, and then based on your group, you're going to go to a specific poster. Group 1's going to be there, Group 2's going to be here, Group 3's going to be there, Group 4 is going to be in the back over there. And then what's going to happen is that you're all going to compare your notes. So your 5 goals, you're going to compare with other people and in your group. And if you have the same 5 goals, write that down on the sheet. Okay? If you have any repeats. All right? So 1,
7. 1, 2, oh.
4, 1,
3,
4, 1, 2.
3, 4, 1.
okay.
Okay.
All right, great guys.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 over there, 2 over here, 3 over there, 4 in the back.
Great. 13. Proud of all of you who are your kids today. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's over there, so that's your part.
Oh, is there like a marker for?
4?
Yeah.
4? Sweet. All right.
Yes. Really?
George, are we writing them all on paper or are we coming?
So the ones that you have,
Yeah, like a consensus.
Doesn't have to be a perfect match amongst all 5 of you.
Oh, we gotta silence. So we'll say silence when you go up there.
Should we just all say all this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the consensus. So there's a manageable. Ideally, we'll come out of your. I mean, the way I see it, since we have I said we all pick on number 1. Well, let's see. Maybe someone else is number 2. Oh, this way. I said, has government input in the green space or have a giant toga party? Around.
Oh yeah, like change really on the road to like super similar or something. Kind of like the actual Senate at Hartford. Oh yeah, the state Senate in Hartford is like an actual circle.
Invite a former actual president.
Yeah. Well, actually no, that's
Halloween's on.
okay.
all those in favor say brains.
Possibly to combine.
Bob man.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's okay, it's mine.
So it could be like, yeah, it could be like something that you think would help your constituency or something you think would help the student government. Yeah, that's some things are really good.
Yeah, what are we thinking about? Okay, we're just,
I don't know if we can,
Yeah,
but
I
at least
don't,
we're.
I don't think I would necessarily like.
I feel like you have to use like the
Which one? Yeah, I see red in the freaking front.
I think that's reasonable.
I was just saying, already, I did not bring it public, like, at all. I got two red.
And at least,
I got one,
Some people have to go like look for library flight, 7 in the morning, 8 a.m.
Even if you brought your own paper. Because paper is expensive, you buy, you know, you can buy paper. Just for paper?
You guys have a donut?
Oh, no, I'm saying you get, oh, I was saying they probably won't provide paper if they're in there, because they don't want to make sure that somebody's like taking this paper.
We have to go to the library or.
Printer.
Oh, are we talking about getting people to take like classes?
No, I was thinking that there should be more, like, now we have a printer in the, that, you know, we should have maybe one in residential area each. Let's say one in Gary, one in Stem, one in. So these people are to rush all over the library. Whatever it is,
Yeah, because with getting everybody printing access, X number of people,
First time bringing this, first time bringing school, people going to the library just to bring something
I
especially.
kind of like the passing, the printing passing.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, like
that's.
you can like a printing plate.
Get a printer though, for less than the cost of a dollar.
Like every student.
Most of the price of the print is actually. They like artificially set the price of it. Because you're gonna buy well, yeah, constantly when you're focusing on the shop.
I would be up for that. Okay, bring live rules. No, that's
give them ideas, like kind of because I know a lot of students are really different about that, they just don't go very far and they're on their way. Yeah, no, help that out, sometimes you go. I'll work on that. Sometimes they even like, so cold, or they'll be like, oh, it's not right here.
What's that? What do you want to do?
That's sitting right here. And then maybe like every year, kind of set up this workshop. We can recommend this kind of remind them, say, we should do this. We need to look at a lot of people do, like, I know all the time.
We can be friends. They need to think of rules. Social justice, advocacy.
I guess what I think more was like if you're an engineering major. Oh, they're also an engineering major.
I know there's like a unit. Where they're like, they take if it's a comic
Yeah, something like that. I know a lot of people do look into their advice as an mentioned. They're like, when they want to go back to them, they have the most knowledge about what they're doing. And I feel like you should be like scared to go to them.
What about like the student evaluation and teaching survey?
Yeah.
What if you just had one?
I want to advise it.
Like review them, because those like are actually, they call up the results when professors are going up for tenure.
Yeah.
If you don't have 4s and 5s, you get denied tenure and you have to go to the interview. So like those surveys are like really actually used by the university. So if you maybe had an advisory survey, like rate your advisor, like answer all these questions about that, then like maybe that would be a way to use it. I don't know if we can do that.
And some people until you or like teacher evaluation, you can't get your grades. And eventually they're trying to
Two minutes, everyone. We should improve the advising.
Yeah.
Enough of it. Work on the.
I guess if you have one.
I'm not sure.
Broad ranges of like coming from doctors, and all those big ones, and there's like one of like, and all those little things like one of the ones just like was like having more people coming in, and having more workshops for people that are on the side that come in, and kind of like
You could have like a major fair, like instead of a career fair.
So should I add
there's some people in their store that are like
Georgia, I'm really happy to start you now. I'm so sorry.
Workshop, 2 to 5 majors, something like that.
just to like
I got one that I want. This is something that I thought about towards the end of last semester. Pedestrian safety at UConn sucks. Like, how many times have you tried to cross the road and haven't been able to see behind a bus or a truck or something, and then somebody's coming up with a car and they don't know that you're crossing because they can't see you?
I would like a campaign to get people not to walk and type on their phone at the same time. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm driving and some moron stepped in front of my car. Well, they don't care. Because they're like, people will stop. They get to the intersection and they're like,
And like,
I'm like, I should hit you out of principle.
But like, how do you change pedestrian? How do you like increase the safety?
So that's exactly what I was thinking. Here, the history for today. My idea was, and this has been implemented at several places around the state and works. There's actually one in Mansfield. We could advocate the university to put in through UP 2000 block grant funding or whatever, some crosswalk safety controls where when you're about to cross, you have a button and then it activates some strobe lights that people on both sides of the road can see, so that way they know that someone's crossing. It's useful at night when you can't see as well, when you're outside traffic. It's useful early in the morning when people aren't waking up. and they're trying to fire. I say that we advocate to the board of trustees or whoever, that we look for, that we, somebody conduct a study and figure out what parts of the stores campus get the most pedestrian traffic, hillside road, they know gets the most, so it's like,
Yeah, I mean, anywhere else, but here, that intersection, I mean, there's a way to maybe flag base to like take shit. I don't know what it is, but like there would be yeah, on hillside. There would be traffic lights. Because like traffic patterns, pedestrian safety, that's what you said.
yeah, pedestrian safety, improve pedestrian safety.
Okay, so, thank you everybody for your very interactive discussions. Really great job. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go around to each of the different groups, and I want you to listen and see if there are any, similar themes to what you had. They don't have to necessarily be an exact match, but at the end of this, if we can identify some things that we all have in common, then we will know that, okay, these are the things we really want to accomplish this year. These are the things that we really go for. So let's start with group 4.
Okay.
So, wait, so we're just talking about our goals? Okay. Oh, yeah, so first.
All right, so the first one was mine. I said we should have some kind of Senate or student government input on the new green space on South Campus that they're going to be putting in, as far as like ideas for like, I don't know, a fountain or something like that.
The second idea we had was that one problem I've noticed for a long time being in the university is that students have a lot of trouble finding availability for printers, sometimes when it's like rush hour or in general getting to the library or maybe even the union to print, or people are just like hogging the computers and they don't let you print or whatever it is. But I thought it might be useful if we were to increase, keep the same level of printing system, 10 cents, or whatever the university wants, but I thought it would be pretty important to at least put some printers in the residential areas. So maybe one printer computer in Garrett's, one printer computer in, so alumni I know has, computers, but they don't have printers. And so I thought it'd be pretty important if we had printers in each of the residential areas. It'd be easier for people to go there and print rather than going to the library at like 7:30 in the morning before the 8 a.m. or 7 o'clock in the morning to get whatever printing needs they have, and then find the library shut down or some catastrophic thing happens to the printer there. So I thought that was a pretty important thing that I'd like to see worked on.
A goal that I had for this year was to kind of improve the advising system within each school, because I know a lot of people have said to me, and I've heard just from regular comments, that people have a hard time connecting to their advisors, or they feel as though, they can't really go to their advisor, they can't talk to their advisor, so they just don't go at all, or they feel like they go and they don't feel like they've been helped. So I was thinking that maybe we could set up a system where, they gave ideas where like we could do a survey so we can actually figure out what the issue is. And then maybe every year have a workshop or a training, with all the advisors and just remind them like, these are your students, work with them, give them tips on like how you can connect with them, how you can make them feel like they can come to you and that you will help them, because they do have the most knowledge on whatever you're studying. So I don't think like people should be scared to go to their advisor. They should use them as a real resource. So I think that would be a good idea to kind of work on.
Okay. So one of the goals that I had was, so being in ACES, I was kind of undecided where I wanted to go. So I've noticed there's not a lot of really resources that tells you what majors this university kind of offers to you guys. So we all are aware school business, all those big majors that are out there, but they're not really like other type of majors that the school offers to the students. So I kind of want to have a fair and workshops that kind of shows the students what the university offers to us, and kind of so they can explore and see what's out there for them.
The last one was mine. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while. How many times have you been walking on campus and been needing to cross the road and have nearly gotten hit by a car because they either couldn't see you or they weren't paying attention? Conversely, how many times have you been driving a car and not seeing somebody because a bus or a truck was blocking them from your line of sight. So you start to go at the stop sign and then you can't see them, like, oh, there's a person there, I should stop. My idea was to improve pedestrian safety here in stores and to do a survey, figure out what the most used crosswalks are on the store's campus, and implement the systems that would be installed by facilities or construction or whoever, where you hit a button and it activates some strobe lights, so that way drivers can see that pedestrians are crossing. It's useful at nighttime when you can't see people, and it's useful in the morning when drivers are still waking up. It's already been implemented at UConn campuses, actually. At UConn Health, when they built the new outpatient pavilion, there's actually a road that connects the outpatient pavilion directly up to the main university hospital. Then they have a crosswalk there where if you hit the button, it activates strobe lights, and the drivers will see the strobe lights and stop. In West Hartford, there's a stoplight just like the one crossing North Eagleville for people going to Northwest. You hit the button and it stops the traffic, and then you go. I mean, it's simple in nature, but I think that it's something we should talk to the board about, or whoever.
Thank you. Group number 3.
Thanks for going first too, by the way. I know it's hard.
Okay, so the first point that we brought up, and this originates from a situation I'm in. So I can't run as a USG senator again because I'm studying abroad next semester in Argentina. And the reason why I can't do this is because a term for a senator is 1 full year. And if someone decides to study abroad within that year, like for a semester for instance, there is no process for them to say, okay, I'm leaving for an entire semester, I'm leaving the seat completely vacant for an entire semester with no one filling in, no one providing a voice for people in my constituency. So we need to establish like a provision that allows people who are going to be studying abroad, that allows them to have some replace their vacant seats. That way this constituency can at least have some voice without leaving a seat completely vacant for an entire semester. And the same thing can apply for people who decide to resign or move to USG and say, like, if let's say that it's the beginning of the term, they say, I don't want to do this anymore, I quit. There's no process for that seat to be replaced until the next election cycle. So they go for almost an entire semester without any voices in that seat. So there needs to be a process of that seat getting replaced in a faster period of time than if we waited until the next election came through. So that's the first point.
Homeward Baptist bathrooms. So I don't know if you have had a similar experience that I have when you're in the bathroom on the 3rd floor and the hand dryers don't work, there is no paper towels, and you go up to the 4th floor and there's no paper towels, and then you go down to the 2nd floor and there's no paper towels, and you just end up wiping your wet hands in your pants and then trying to get back to work. I think that's gross. It's just odd. The actual fixtures within the bathroom either are broken or are just so like caked with dirt that they're not able to be cleaned. So I understand that the bathroom or the whole library is going to be renovated. So prioritizing that the bathrooms be renovated first or sooner than the rest of the library.
Any of you want to go? Okay, Lance.
Well, this wasn't my idea, but I guess we thought it'd be a good idea to look into increasing seat, like very, very few of the bus stops around campus actually have anywhere to sit at them. So we figured it'd be something to look into to see if we could really just get more benches and a lot of more frequently utilized bus stops.
And campus too.
Yeah.
And campus.
What was that more? Benches and more.
Benches and canopies at more of the bus stops.
Okay. Go next. Oh, we have this one.
The last one wasn't my idea either, but more vegetarian options in all the different dining halls because, like, for example, South has a lot of meat and not much else. So, like, even though we eat a lot of vegetables, not all of them are as lower.
Yeah, that's something Laura and I work on too, right? More vegetarian options.
Yeah, that was great.
We were.
thank you, Drew.
Great, thanks, guys.
Group two?
Hashtag goals.
Alright. So first, we'd like to see more statements of position passed. An example of this would be grab and go hours, which currently no longer serve lunch, which I do now. And then we'd also like to see active threat training implemented throughout the university, just make it more available to students. And then for internally, we'd like to see more effective offices.
Austin, do you want to explain what active threat training is? Unless
I would love to.
everybody knows, but.
Yeah, does everyone know what active threat training is?
Okay, I don't.
Okay, so it just has to do with like if there is a shooter, for example, like what do you do? And I think it's really sad, but I think it's become a part of our day-to-day lives. It's something we have to be worried about. So I think it'd be a very valuable resource if we all provide everybody an opportunity to think about these issues.
Alright. So, our next suggestion. Anyways, our next suggestion kind of is more of an internal thing, and we think that we should have color coordinated Senate/Dean Senate, like stop by risky business AP. I think we should also address more diversity related issues. Thank you. Like, we all showed up in hours. You know how they actually ran this color coordination? Wow. Yes, this is. Okay. Group number 1. That's us.
Okay, so, first we said like more USG visibility, more town halls, like what's really actually happening or something. So yeah, like having, like whatever issues they may have, like let them know that we're here for them, like this is what we're here to do, so that they can bring that to our attention, we can have more town halls and like talk to the administrators and try to whatever issues.
All right. One of the things that I noticed recently, a lot of people were, well, maybe not all people were complaining, but some people did bring to my attention the fact that Grab and Go, at least at South, does not serve fruits anymore. I don't know if you all can confirm.
That's also true.
You're right, I actually have
So
it.
South
So,
reduced
yeah.
their hours and does not serve fruit.
Right.
You can get a cookie or chips.
Right. So instead of serving fruits and Grab and Go, what they're doing right now is handing you like 4 cookies or 4 brownies. I mean, yeah, it's. Well, don't quote me on that because some people might lose their job. I don't want to snitch. I don't want to snitch, but what I'm trying to get at here is that there is a decline in the service for Grab and Go because I mean, maybe not everyone gets fruits, but I mean, I'd rather have them serve fruits so that at least people who are trying to eat healthy can have a healthy option. And along with the fact that the hours have been shortened, I believe, right? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. So altogether, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why this is happening today. So it's important that we stay on top of it and maybe hopefully do something about it. And the next thing that I want to at least look into, just from personal experience, is that it would be great if we could have swipe access into academic buildings, just like we have into residential buildings. Because a lot of people like myself spend a lot of time in academic buildings like ITE, just working as an alternative to libraries, especially if you have a lab or a space there where you're comfortable working and you leave all your stuff there and then as soon as it's 11, the doors lock and you can't get back in. So that's the problem, and it's a building, so just like the library, I don't see why we can't have swipe access. I mean, at least for maybe the people who belong to the majors, like let's say IT, engineers, there's a lot like CLAS has like all their buildings around campus. So maybe if they could somehow implement a way in which we could have swipe access into those buildings, then we could find a good compromise between accessibility and security. And also one last thing I'm just going to add that's not on the paper here. Someone actually came up to me today when they were inquiring about the different committees that USG has. And they said, how come we don't have a committee on sustainability and something about like, you know, like, yeah, like just like
we actually do have a sustainability committee.
a sustainability committee?
Yeah,
It's a subcommittee of student services.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, now I know. I did not know that. But if we did have something like that, that would have been something that we could have had. But yeah, that's perfect.
That's why.
Two things I noticed from like personal experience. One is I have an OPIF class, which you need laptops for every single class, and it's taught in Arcona, where there's no outlets, and people's laptops keep dying, so I think that there should be some kind of regulation to make sure that like tech classes are taught in tech-supported buildings. Secondly, I don't know how many people really think this is important, but I'm one of the rare people that use the back porch of the library because I like to study outside, get some sun, but the benches and tables are really run down, and like I saw someone fall because one broke last semester. So I just think that maybe those need to be updated because I don't think they've been updated since the 70s. So.
One of the things I brought personal looking to is the fact that some classes grade for attendance. You know, I was on the course in the curriculum meeting, my freshman year, we talked about how we took a lot of courses that had attendance as a component of the grading system, allowed to be courses. So I really want to look into the room of that room, not saying that. Why is it some classes do still grade on attendance if that isn't that universal policy?
Something that actually staff brainstormed with us was increasing the number of weekend buses on campus, because when you just have one running around, it takes forever. You can walk all the way across campus and get faster than using a weekend bus. So that's something I should take into consideration. And then for me, I live in the Oaks again this year, and they actually reduced the hours in the art library, music library. Now I guess it's a resource center, and it's only open until 4 during the weekdays, and it's closed on weekends. And I don't want to walk all the way to some more hours on weekends. And it's also for me, and then should be in my students too.
And Mansfield.
And Mansfield.
Good scams, you guys. And Jeff is doing us a very solid paper and categorizing all the errors back there, so that is awesome.
Okay, so I just wrote down like a one-word reminder of all the goals that you all just listed out. Do you want me to read them out if you can't see them? Or can you see them?
Your handwriting is excellent, so.
Oh, you can all see that? Okay, I really
can
poor
see it
vision,
from
so I
here,
can't
so I
stand
think
you.
nobody else can, because my eyesight's horrifying.
Okay, I'll read them. Why don't we read them so we have some auditory learners who can focus in. All right, so I'll go from the first group to the last group. So we just as a reminder, it's not the full goal. So the green space, printing, academic advising, pedestrian safety, study abroad, senators studying abroad, paper towels, bus stop benches, vegetarian options, statements of position, active threat training, effective caucuses, color coordinated Senate, USG visibility, grab and go, academic building swipes, tech classes happening in tech supported rooms, library benches, class attendance, weekend buses, and academic resource center. Did I miss any?
Mine's just not just like paper towels, but like the actual
Just like the reminder of them.
themselves. Yeah, I guess.
Everybody remembers that one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what do you think as Senate? Remember, we have committees focused on specific areas. So what do you think as Senate should be addressed? Based on all of your ideas. What jumps out to you? You can just talk.
I just had it and I lost it. One of the ones we went to the Senate would be study law centers, because we have to look at the policies that we have for elections. They have to be something to host another election. Some of them we voted in almost as if they are for this term. We voted in right now as a residential center. We start in like 4 weeks in the semester. Whereas next semester we don't have an election, and that accommodates that.
You can just talk. Go to town, everybody.
So kind of on like the same topic, which we kind of forgot to add in for ours, was like I'm doing an internship. Like, this is kind of a personal thing, but I'm doing an internship this spring, so I'll technically only be a part-time student. But I was gonna run for the business seat, except that you technically can't run as a part-time student, but for the term that I'd be serving, which would be next fall and next spring, I'd be here. But the rules like currently prohibit running as a part-time student like for a position. Okay, so that was just on that one. I don't know if there's any like other rules about that, but
Is there a way that we could like evaluate it on like a case-by-case basis?
That's pretty much.
you want to shout out some more topics that stuck out to you.
With active threat training, it's something that, like, I think UConn PE comes in to Senate pretty frequently, or at least with like some frequency, more frequency than other student groups. And I think that if you could talk to them about how to best train students and how in their minds we could partner with them to do it. I don't know if that would come under the student services, but I think it'd be something for us to take on as separate.
I think the weekend bus is actually pretty good thing that we should be looking into because it deals a lot with also with the safety at night. That some kids like if let's say you're at a friend's place in York and you live all the way in Alumni or the Oaks or something like that, you don't want to walk at let's say 12 at night when it's like really dark, or 1 or something like that. So I think if we increase the number of weekend buses, but also maybe extended the hours by just like a little bit, so it might be, I think it would just be safer for our students and kids. I think they wouldn't have to, try and get rides elsewhere.
I just have a question about that. How is that going to impact the amount we pay for our transportation fee at this moment? Is it going, because if that happens, they're going to have to service the buses, but they're going to have to hire more people to drive those extended hours. So like that would put a burden on us to pay more money for transportation fees, and on students that don't take the bus on a regular basis. Like I never take the bus, for instance, and I know a lot of other students prefer to ride their bikes or just walk. So what are we going to do about the students that don't use the bus service that have to pay an extra couple $100 to finance that extra extended time that you are proposing?
I mean, I think if you wanted to gauge like interest, this is something that we could like bring as a survey to like the student body or something, but I do think that like a large amount of students use the bus is enough where that would be beneficial. And like somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Does anyone know how much we pay for transportation?
It's on their student fee bill. It tells you the transportation fee.
Do you know the exact number?
I do not know it off the top of my
How
head. I
about
know
you
some
just shout it
of
out?
Yeah, like I agree, and I also think too, like two other things I can add to that is one, I think we need to make it more known that like there are services other than buses, at least like during the weekdays, because I know like people don't realize they have like Husky rides like at night, and it goes up to I think 2 in the morning. You can get rides from the library, from anywhere on campus to where you live. And I don't think it's as well known as, as it should be. And I don't really see people using it. Sometimes I used it like once last year when I found out about it. And one of the girls who was working said that she would go to work and she would just sit there because like no one really calls.
Yeah.
So I think that we should. Right. So like it should be more well known. And also I think there should be an emphasis on like buses actually stopping at their stops. Just like for me, I live at Northwest, and Orange Line always like you'll be standing there and the bus will just drive right by.
Yeah.
They don't actually like, and they're usually either late or maybe too early. So like I think there should
Their
be
policy
also.
is that if they're late, they don't have to stop. So like if you're at the stop on time, then you obviously would take the bus. But if they're late, then they literally don't have to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people who are there early, at least like according to the bus app, or maybe there's something wrong with that app, I don't know, but I've just seen a lot of people say that like they were there and then it just doesn't show up or they never actually stop. So like I just wanted to.
So buses are definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. Any other ones? Why don't we try to get a top 5? Are we comfortable so far leaving these 3 as part of that top 5?
Yeah, printing is something really, I think, like, everybody could use. I mean, that's something I can hear who's working on it, so, it's something like, yeah.
I believe the pedestrian safety one should be a priority because not only are there places where there are high volume crosswalks that people don't stop at, but there's places where there are no crosswalks, but you're at one building and you need to get to the other building directly across the street, but you have to walk to an intersection in order to legally cross the street. And what if you have a cart of fragile plants and glass like I did today, coming back from the involvement fair, and you're going across 195 and you can't make it across in time?
Yeah.
And you're stuck in that little island until the next time the pedestrian signal goes on. So that's issues. And I agree with the flashing orange lights too. That's something we can crosswalk.
I'd have to say one of the biggest concerns on this list, then, is students' positions, because a lot of issues that we keep talking about and referring to as us as a whole are things that really go through committee, that aren't things that are just all of a sudden we have a solution and we can vote on it and decide. There's things that have to be worked out on the committee, because they have the connections to administrators, they have the ability and resources to properly investigate long-term solutions to these things. So I have to say that we're consensus on students' position, so it allow USG to work with the committees to sort of have a voice to talk to these administrators, because they do respect statements of position. I know the University Senate in particular, which will go on and talk on this issue, and bring it to the University Senate. We bring the statement position, saying we're going to unanimously, as undergraduate student body, to support this issue. That's carries weight.
It's really good point.
That kind of ties into like our USG like visibility, like I talked about visibility. I think, well, so like one idea I had is that since we're all senators, we each represent a different constituency. Maybe there's something that we can implement into our constitution that says like senators are obligated to take on like one project per semester that will touch on these issues that deal with their constituencies. Like a wide range of like different issues, so the project could be like a town hall or like something else, just bringing awareness to these issues, like really like increasing that. So I feel like if we did implement something like that, that really holds senators like accountable, we would get a lot more done, a lot more people would be interested in USG.
That's something like George and I have been bouncing around about requirements for senators.
I think adding on to that is just that some people, like, even in their residence halls, don't even know who their USG representative is. So, like, if anything, like, introducing yourself, having something that's, like, in buildings that says this is who your representative is, something like that. Maybe in connection with Red Lake or something, I don't know.
Like making it more of like a requirement, like senators have to have like a certain amount of people they can get that just that we're accountable for our positions.
Okay, so we've got more than the top 5 up there, which is awesome. All these ideas were really solid. I really appreciate them. Just some things that like I've been mulling over is I know that this is a somewhat hefty time commitment, and I feel like a lot of people lose the motivation to be a part of Senate like midway through the year, and they get very like oh, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything, or they sit in the back and they don't say anything during Senate, or they feel intimidated by like the older, more experienced senators. And so like a personal mission of mine, and hopefully George's, is that all of you feel like this time commitment is worthwhile, because you are capable of like doing really great work here, but at the same time it is like what you put into it. So if you're putting a lot into it and you still feel like you're not getting anything out of it, that's definitely a conversation that like we want to have. But like I'm gonna do my best to make sure that this is like a worthwhile use of your time, because I know you're not getting paid to do this. It's a lot of work, but you guys are doing good things, and it's also great for your resume, great for your future. It's good to learn how to work with people. So,
Hopefully, having all of you sit down today and think about issues that you want to work on not only motivates you a little bit for the coming semester, but also gives you an idea as to what committees you might want to join, soon. As soon as elections are over, that's going to be on the radar. We're going to be sending out a form to all of you to ask you which committee you would like to be assigned to. For instance, bathroom facilities would work very well with student services. Printers would, who have printers?
I have printers.
Yeah, printers would work very well with academic affairs. So hopefully this has also given you an idea, which committee you want to hopefully join when that time comes around. All right, is there anything else? Does anybody have anything that they'd like to share?
Announcements, philanthropy events, other things.
Oh, I think the markers back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have an announcement.
Yeah.
There's on the 24th, the Syracuse versus UConn game. If anyone's interested in getting a free ticket to the game, the Veterans Affairs and Military Programs Office is doing this event where they have this really big American flag. It's like the size of a basketball court this year. It's a little smaller than last year, but they need people. Yeah. Yeah. So people will carry it out onto the field. They're going to be out there while the band plays, and if anyone wants to take part in that, they can get free transportation to the game and a free ticket. They just have to get there like 3 hours early so they can do the rehearsal. So if you're interested, you can send me an email. That's it.
Awesome. Anybody else? Announcements, whatever?
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming.
We did it.
Yeah.